project with the European Union
Mm-hmm.
um, as a research engineer, a systems engineer. So it's been 1 year, more than 1 year since I've been working. Uh, so my focus since my graduate studies has been on high performance thermoplastic composites. That's something I got familiar with during my master course, and there's a huge amount of expertise in this university and also in the Netherlands and the Europe region. And there's a lot of push for it also for industrial solutions. So I
Mm-hmm.
have a lot of potential in it, and I wanted to build my career or start my career at least focusing on that. So even in my master, I did a thesis. So I had we have a 9 month master thesis project. So during that, I focused on laser assisted fiber placement, which is a manufacturing process um, for composites, but specifically for thermoplastic composites, it can be used for in situ consolidation. So my master thesis was focused on process development and process understanding of that. But after that, I started working. So currently, I work on ultrasonic welding, which is a process used to join thermoplastic composites also.
Mm-hmm.
And so the project I'm working on is the goal of the project is to build a full-scale thermoplastic composite fuselage demonstrator, which is basically the size of an Airbus A320 fuselage barrel. And so the project has a lot of partners. It's a big consortium of companies, and TU Delft is one of the partners, which is looking specifically at ultrasonic welding and developing a robotic process to make those welds in the demonstrator. So that's basically my role currently. So I'm looking at process development for ultrasonic welding and also looking at the industrialization part of it.
So, Abhash, quick question. From here, what are the things that worry you most right now, based on the what you see happening with the this particular industry, and in general, how you think that could hamper your plans, whatever you thought about. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. So, so one of the things that fascinated me to get into this field was so much of push from the industry and academia here to use thermoplastic composites, and it still seems like a very viable solution for future airframes. But my concern, especially this year and with the slowdown in the industry, is more towards whether the industry is still going to be looking towards moving to this newer material and changing their manufacturing processes.
Hmm.
So one of the reasons which make the thermoplastic composites viable is high production volume. And if that is not achieved and the demand doesn't require that, so that I don't think it would be economically viable. So my concern is whether I should still stay focused in trying to work in this very niche area, or should I diversify to other technology areas?
Right. So, one thing I will tell you for sure is, um, whatever you study may not necessarily get implemented all the time. You study because you want to learn things. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the whole purpose most of the time, right? So you get know what research is, you get an idea about what new things are. But when you have a job, let's say you get a job in Boeing or Airbus or any other company, not necessarily you will be doing the same thing. You probably will be doing something which they are already have in place, like implemented and all that. So I don't think you have to worry too much about that particular part. It's all about knowing things. It's all about, because the idea is, as a young brain you get introduced to new ideas, and maybe that you bring some new insight to these things. And from airline sector, whatever you do now, it takes at least 20-30 years at least to get implemented, because the industry is not easily accommodative of new ideas because of many regulations and safety. It's not like you are developing a car, right? They have to fly, so you have to be very careful whatever you implement.
Yeah, definitely.
So you may not see, if that is the case, you may not see this in your lifetime getting implemented. That could be possible. Okay. So as I said, don't think too much about that. That's number one. Okay. Oh, what I'm doing, will that hamper or no, it's not. Nothing will happen. This is all about experience gain and all that. That's number one. Then let's talk about number two part, which I'm more interested is, and I'm looking at your questions also, right? I think most of your questions is um, uh, about where I'm gonna go from here, considering the airline sector in particular is having a bad time. I guess that's your major concern, and if that is the case, you can how you can safeguard yourself,
Yeah,
right?
react to it
So
on time. So that,
right. So we will talk more about that. Other thing I want to ask you is, just from curiosity, what's the reason for you? Because you are, I think, third or fourth person I'm talking from TU Delft. Is there a reason why people go to that university, or that like you get some scholarship, or you have to pay from your pocket? What's the reason people go there?
Initially, when I started applying for universities for masters, I had applied mostly to the US, and TU was not even on my radar.
Mhm.
It is a relatively less known university, and I think that's because of like less internationalism. I think here,
Mhm.
sure, but my reason to choose TUDEF was because it would be, so I did a cost benefit analysis, and I had an option between Purdue in the US and TUDEF, and for me the course content was a lot more focused on composites here than at Purdue, and it costed a lot less. So I did not get a scholarship, and scholarships are very rare to find also in
Right.
TUDEF.
I
But
mean, it's the same
overall,
thing
the
in US also. You won't get a scholarship for your masters.
yeah, and so there is the possibility to get a research assistantship and all those things, but that comes at a later stage. So the first leap of faith was always based on assuming worst case scenario. So that was my reason to come here. That was one of the reasons, and the other reason was that I spoke to a lot of people who started working here and also in the US, and especially since I wanted to work in aviation or aerospace, I saw more chances here in Europe than in US, because of course it's difficult there without being a citizen to get into a
So
really high.
you're thinking that probably you're gonna graduate from here, and it's easier for you to find a job in Netherlands or in Europe. Is that what's that your idea was?
Yeah, because there's especially because of Airbus and the offset industries, I felt that there would be more opportunities for people who are
So
not
they don't
EU
have
citizens.
like a citizenship regulations there.
I'm sure they do for defense projects, but they make the distinction, and I've seen that it's possible to get into a company like
Okay.
Airbus. And
Okay. So you know like people who have worked in that, international students. Okay. Got
yes,
it.
and also there are smaller companies which work for Airbus, such as Fokker Aerostructures or GKN
I
Technology.
mean, yeah, but
Do
that's the
hire.
same. Yeah, but that's the same in US too. US, you will find the similar thing. But yeah, for international student, it will be harder to find a job in Boeing and all that for sure.
Yeah.
Directly, yeah, you're right. Okay. So let me give you my piece of advice here. So, I think you are absolutely right. And we are seeing in the US, and more or less the trend is that airline industry in general, or OEMs who work on civil airspace, I would say, they are having a tough time, and there are a lot of been firing going on even in the US, to be honest with you,
Hmm.
especially when we talk about civil airspace, not defense.
Yeah.
Um, and I think one of the thing I see in your, and when are you graduating or gonna
I
graduate?
already graduated, so
Okay,
I'm working full time now for a year, more than a year.
okay. So you have a job right now.
I have a job right now, and I have a job for the next year and a half also. So
What do you mean by that? Is like your visa?
as in my current contract is for the project, and the project ends in 2022.
Okay, 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 got it.
So my questions are more targeted for my planning afterwards.
Okay, okay. But is it that it could continue or not? It could be any
Uh,
possible.
there is possible, but I would like to also make the move. So currently
Okay.
for the university, I would like to make the move to industry. Maybe
So let me
working on
ask you,
similar.
right? Let me ask you this thing. So you talk about not doing PhD, but what you would like to do. So
Mhm.
is there something you talk about more about you want to be on the management side of it or R&D side of it or mix of something?
So in the short term, I still want to stay in the technical R&D side of things.
Hmm.
Uh, Maybe in 5 or 6 years, or when I have enough sufficient experience in the industry, I would want to move towards management. But for the time being, I want to get more industrial experience and work on technical projects
And that you are doing already, right?
that I'm doing already. But so my current role is semi. So I work in a semi-industrial
Okay,
requirement,
okay.
but I'm also publishing papers and have to look into fundamental research as well at the same time. So I want to get the experience of a bigger OEM job.
Okay. So to be honest with you, Abash, I would say you are in much better position than a lot of people then, if that is the case. I would say, see, for you, I'm saying is one thing for sure is wherever you are, you would be in a better position to move rather than going to somewhere else, whether you change the country or continent for that matter, right? So I don't think you should bring that in your mind at all that are there chances of me finding a job in US in some bigger OEMs? That's not possible. If that is the case, that's number one.
Mhm.
That's out of picture at all.
And is that
For,
more?
for many reasons, because of visas, because of the current job situation and all that.
Okay.
That's. I mean, I would say that is more or less to because of the visas also. So let me put it this way: aerospace engineering international student graduated from Purdue from aerospace engineer won't be able to find a job in Boeing. Let it be put it this way. Okay, so you being outside the country, right? It will definitely um, it's like a dream almost. I would say. I don't know anyone who have done it, and to be honest with you, I unless and until you have some sort of a permanent residence in US or in Canada, or you are a citizen, it's not possible. Okay, you can say how about applying for their OEMs, the other sector, but then I would say then probably COVID is not doing a good job also, is not helping us. So for you, wherever you are right now, wherever you're working right now, would be the best possible place for you to move from so-called semi-academic to complete industry. But at the same time, I would say, being you as a being a student, you just came out from as a master's student. I would say you are in a better position. But if you think of in a longer term, also, I would say if you want to work in an R&D sector and become the expert of that center and let's say whatever company you work for, you can take that example. Most of these people who head the R&D center are PhDs.
Yeah.
You will see that. So for you as a master's student, then you really have to think how far I can go in that career as a master's degree. Because I'm not saying that degree makes you perfect, but that's how the system is. In any company you look at, whether Rolls-Royce, I have worked in Rolls-Royce too. I mean, all the big fellows and CTOs and VPs, R&D and D and all that, they all have PhDs. So it's an essential requirement, more so in Europe than in anywhere else, to be honest with you, because somehow they value the degrees a lot more than probably in US. US is a little bit more casual. But US, I would say, still is the same thing. You will find same cases, right? So really, I think what you need to think about is, you said, right, specifically not doing a PhD in one of your question. I would then think of that how far you can go and become a leader in R&D. So you need to think about that, number one. Number two, in your case, I would say you said you have 1.5 year, right? So you can stay in this sector for that, but in the meantime, I would say it won't be a bad idea for you to transition into an MBA program or something for future. That not be bad idea, because you said, right, incline move towards more to management of technology eventually and all that. And you can, as I said, you have enough time, which is good thing. And you have enough time, buyout time. And I'm hoping that after it, COVID might take another 1 year or so until the industry stabilizes and everything, right?
Yeah.
So you have enough time to think about that and not to worry too much immediately. And it's not like you are looking for a job or you don't have a job or something like that. So you are in better situation in that sense. And I would say do more research on the programs, MBA programs. Now, whether you want to do it in Europe or UK or US, it's totally up to you. And see what programs are more that geared towards like technology based rather than management based MBA program, because those will be extremely helpful for you if you specifically don't want to do a PhD or things like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah, so what I'm not sure about is whether it's better to do one of these courses immediately or like in the next couple of years, or
I would say you should wait.
Yeah.
I don't think you should jump in immediately, to be honest with you. I say gain some experience wherever you are, whatever you are learning, because you never know, because you have opportunity. And I don't think you are in rush also, to be honest, that your age or whatever the personal factors could be. But I would say gain some experience, at least work for another 1 year or so. And in the meantime, that 1 year, just don't sit, but do all the thinking and all the research about what universities are out there and so on. And this is the time, especially right now, where if you have a job, hold it tight also. This is not the time to jump out unless and until you are forced to go out. So hold on to your job, do best what you can, and when time comes in and you see this is because it could also be possible, and I know that for sure. In MBA, MBA is very expensive, right?
Yeah.
And you don't want to take another loan or whatever, but you can also I also know that people who have work experience, they get full scholarships. So that may not be a
US,
bad. Yeah, in US also. So there is a video actually I made with one of the student who went to University of UNC, I think. He was telling me about that one of his friend got a full scholarship there, and I know a lot of people who have done. I mean, it's not unheard of people getting full scholarship for an MBA program who have good work experience and make their case. It's not unheard of. So, but as a fresh, you may have that trouble.
Yeah, and I also think that maybe it's not as effective, such courses, if you don't know how the industry works already.
Yeah, you can say that, but as I said, more experience you have in some areas, and if you are able to find a right goal. I mean, here's the thing. Another thing you can do is, I'm just saying, it could be just for to check. I don't know. I mean, there are a lot of universities who are saying in 2021 you don't need GRE or GMAT also because of the COVID, right? And let's say if you apply to those universities, let's say you select a university, and if you have money to apply for application and all that, which is not that expensive, you can give a chance and see if you can get a scholarship, just to say, for sake of saying. But as I said, be as fresh you are, it would be difficult. Yeah, for you probably have to work a little bit more in an industry, gain some more experience, and then apply to a right place at the right time to say, okay, I can get fully funded scholarship MBA program.
Yeah. That's also what I plan to do. But I was also looking at courses. There are some specific management courses which are like called management of technology. So even TU Delft has a course. It's a MSc. It's not an MBA, but it's focused on it's focused on
But
management.
yeah, I don't know much
I'm not
about
sure.
Europe. It's also depends on where you want to settle down. Let's say you want to settle down in Europe. MSc in technology would be okay, but I think in US is they make a clear distinction between an MBA and an MS.
Okay.
So just be careful. Like for example, you come to US, MBA has a certain meaning to it as a degree. MS and so you have MS in engineering management in US, for example, right? But MBAs are different. You won't be get a job what MBA gets most likely, but if you have an MS in engineering management. Yeah, right. So, and
That's something even I don't know about Europe, because I don't have any, like, I don't have any connections who are at that level.
Right. But as I said, for you, just sit back and relax. This is the tough time. Hold on to your job. Try to work on your whatever you are doing. Don't give too much thought over what I've done in my research and all that, because that's going to go eventually. Once you are out in a school, you leave that part of it, and you will forget also probably what you have done. So don't worry too much about that. This is just an experience, and that's just degree. And think more about what's the future, what I want to do. Don't dive into the nitty gritties of it, especially as a master's. You should be more open out to learn new things and move out pretty quickly. You should be more swift. Yeah. And even I have worked in the area of material science engineering, which I do it, but whatever I do now and what I have done since my PhD has nothing to do with my PhD at all. I have never used it, to be honest. But that's the experience that you gain during your studies that is more valuable. How to solve a problem and all that, not like what you have done. Very few people does that. And I'm not that kind of a person who enjoys doing the same thing, to be honest. But many people are, which is okay.
Yeah.
So as I said, in your case, you're fine. Just give yourself a thought, and make decision based on what you think is going on. So maybe the industry does fine, maybe not. So move out. Make sure you are more dynamic.
Yep. But in your opinion, do you think the R&D sector will pick up again in a couple of years, or it might?
I think it's going to take time. I don't know, but I don't know whether it's going to take a couple of years or it's going to take 4 years. I'm not the right person to answer that, but tough time. There will be more tough time ahead, to be honest. It's not like this is the peak. I think there is a peak down there, because still in US, I can tell you for sure there is, whether civil aviation companies, they are being laying off people left and right. So it's not just the airlines, it's the companies who make aircrafts and the OEMs and everyone. So it's like, if you see last 2 months or so, United, Delta, all these companies have laid off. Then the repercussion is the companies who make aircrafts, Raytheon, Collins, UTC, they have been laying off people, and then OEMs and so forth. So, but one thing I can tell you, if you are too much interested into materials and all that, I mean, I see your degrees in materials and aerospace structure and materials. Focus more on materials. Forget aerospace.
Yeah.
Because that will also diversify you in many other areas, not just aerospace.
Yeah,
because as a materials scientist, you can work for Apple too, and there are jobs there. That's the reason I say, don't focus too much on aerospace sector, because technology comes and go. But if you have a general idea of materials, you will be valuable everywhere. Lot of areas, lot of technologies. Yeah. So that's another way to go.
Because of my education, I'm more aware of aircraft structures, for example, than marine structures. So if I have to make a shift now to the marine industry, it will take a lot more effort, and I need to be prepared for that.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, as I said, your education, you learn the tools, right? So that tools you can apply anywhere. Market yourself more in a way that won't just puts you in a certain sector. Market yourself in a way that you say, okay, here I have tools and I can apply in any sector. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions, Avash?
No, I just wanted to learn from your experience, basically.
Yeah, sure.
I saw that you have a very diverse experience as well. So what you're working on now is not what you worked on.
Yeah, right. But as I said, that's what I said. I diversify yourself. I don't project myself for a certain technology.
Okay.
That's the reason that's the reason I give you an example. So when I say I'm a material scientist, I say I can solve the problems in any areas, any sectors, whether it's oil and gas, aerospace, automotive, electronics, space, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You understand my point? So that's how
Yeah.
you should be. Yeah. So don't focus too much, because there are many good things that people can do to any areas.
Yeah.
Yeah. So try to diversify yourself. And a master student, you learn tools. Yeah, you can use those tools anywhere, whether you learn a software, whether it's a finite element software, whether it's a CFD software. I mean, applications are everywhere in every technology. So don't think, oh, I have learned this for this aircraft sector, but marine I can. No, you can do. Don't worry about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is the way to go. At least that's how I think it. And especially if you are masters, I would say having an MBA at some point of time would be very valuable. It will jumpstart your career for sure.
And on approximately, would you say 5 to 6 years is a good time after working 5 to 6 years to go for an MBA?
I would say masters and 5 year experience is a good idea, because I'm just thinking that you may be able to get a scholarship, but again, do your homework and say, okay, after 2 year would be the right time to apply. To be honest, 2+ year is the right time to apply and say, okay, let me think about all that. But I've known people who have worked in 10 years after bachelor's and then they apply. I have also known people, whether in India or in the US, who goes directly after their bachelor's. Right, there are people like that too. So personal choice, but do evaluate where you are, how comfortable you are, how prone you are, what's your job, and how the market is. Can I take a loan? There are many factors around there. Your personal choices, all that, and then where you want to do, whether you want to do that in Europe, India, US, Korea, whatever, all those factors. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I also get this advice from postdoctors. So in the research, in the group I work, there's postdocs, and they recommend that, okay, now since the industry is not looking so good, this is the best time to do a PhD. So for 4 years you're locked in, you do your PhD, and when you graduate, the industry will be better. Uh, and yes, that's something I've also been thinking about recently, if I want to do that.
But you said you don't want to do, right? So
No, it's not my choice. I don't want to
don't do it.
focus on one topic for that long.
Yeah. So see, PhD is about your interest. It's not about I'm not getting anything and I should do a PhD. I say this all the time. You should do PhD because you're interested in doing it. So let's say if you're working at one point of time, you realize this is I'm interested in and I love it, then do it. Not because somebody's telling you, not because you cannot find a job, not because you have nothing else to do, because you will always have everything. So see, what I'm trying to tell you, the whole idea is about how you want to move your career, right? So if you want to go for a PhD, I would say you're wasting your time right now. Put it this way, you should go PhD immediately tomorrow, because whatever you're doing is not going to do too much. Finish your education then. It's not like you do your PhD for work for 2 years and to go for PhD is going to give you certain. I have heard in Germany, like they really value industry experience, but that could be the case. But I'm a believer that you finish your work, studies and everything, and then probably within PhD you can do internship, at like a lot of people do. That is another way to gain experience also, and move along with your education.